Hey, this is Hall. I'm ready. Come on, ready. Hey, what's up, players? This is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and I just want you to know that you're watching the Jeffrey Show live, and that's real talk, players.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an exciting edition of Jeffrey Show Live. I'm your host, Jeffrey Taylor. Woo. And on today's edition of Jeffrey Show Live, this is the inaugural episode where I'm going to be doing in-home studio interviews with your favorite indie wrestlers. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to the one, the only. I can't do it as good as you, so you got it. Take it away.
Are we doing the whole thing?
Take it over.
All right. Well, born and raised in the swats of Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at a redacted amount, the title snatcher, the Mack of all trades, A.C. Mack. That felt good.
Do people usually cheer you when you do that, or do they boo?
Oh, I'm the bad guy.
You're the bad guy?
I'm the bad guy.
Chun-Li? Okay, so...
Something like that.
I was prepared for you to get loud, so I'm right there with you tonight. Like, I was prepared for the loud mouth to get loud, so I'm prepared, like, to complete that game. It is...
That's cute. That's
cute. I'm trying to get my money's worth. But, in a sense, let's get right into it. How are you tonight?
I'm great.
I appreciate you for joining.
I'm great. I'm excited.
First off, we got a few topics to hit on. Hopefully you're honest.
What? Yes.
Hopefully you're honest.
Yeah.
Now this is the thing. I feel like journalists sometimes don't put in the work. Everybody want to be a journalist, but nobody's down to do the research. No shots, no shade in a sense, but I just keep it up 100. So I have to do my research on this, man. I've been following you since the fall of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And you debuted in 2016 as well, earlier that year.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken. Like, how was that experience for you?
Oh, God. Nerve-wracking.
Really?
Nerve-wracking. I debuted at the WWA for June 2nd, 2016. That was my very first match. I was in a tag team match with David Ali against Austin Theory and Kevin Zander. And it was in the main event of our Thursday Night Live show.
Wow.
And
your first match was in the main event?
Yeah, yes, my first match was in the main event, and I was petrified. But we had a lot of fun. I was out there with my friends, and we did that thing.
Now, shout out to David Ali. You guys went on to win tag team championships in WA4. But we're going to fast forward to now. You guys are, in a sense, rivals in the A4, or things mending?
I guess no for both of those. Like, we had our big blow-off match, and it is what it is.
Last man standing.
Last man standing,
Huge.
and he won. He had his fiance at the time.
At the time.
In the fear, and, cost me the match. I wouldn't say things are mending. We just kind of haven't crossed paths since then, and that was January of this year. So
you sure.
We just been kind of missing each other for months now.
Shouts to David Ali. He was on my last ever internet radio show. That was probably the most controversial, highest rated show. The episode is still out there lingering if you're able to catch it. But I'm going to rewind a little bit. And I'm going to go back to, we talked about the debut in 2016, but who trained you?
One of the best wrestlers in the world, A.R. Fox. The highest flyer in the game.
Why do you feel like A.R. Fox is one of the best wrestlers in the world? Because you're not the only one that I've heard say that.
I don't think he gets enough credit because, like, people look at him and they say, oh, he's a high flyer. But once you pay that fine and you get in there and you start training, he knows so many styles. He can give you so much advice as to the type of wrestler that you want to be. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a high flyer.
You do your thing, though.
That's just...
You do your thing. You do.
That's not who I am.
Yeah.
But the basics and the character and all of that, I would attest to Fox and him being so great and him allowing the students the freedom to be who they are.
And that's important.
Yeah, and I can't stress that enough. Like, you need to be who you are in order to be successful in wrestling. And I know that sounds weird because everybody has a character and everybody has a gimmick, but Fox was the first person that kind of let me know and told me that, hey, like, what you feel comfortable doing and what you want to do and what you want to portray to the world, as long as you feel that, that's what's going to get you over. And that's what's going to make you successful in this industry. So all praise and all props go to him.
And you're still at the WA4 school.
Oh, yeah.
Are you like, it's 2016 when you debuted, when you started training as well? Is it 2016?
Yep.
Okay.
February 8th, 2016. And I remember it because it was the same day that Daniel Bryan retired on Monday Night Raw. So...
He's back though.
He's back.
He's back though. What I want to say about that, 2 years later, do you feel like a veteran at the school?
I guess technically yes, but I'm still so young and I'm still like, there's so much more that I can learn that I hate associating myself with the word vet. At the school, I guess technically yes, but overall, I would say no.
Do you think that being based off of vet at the school versus on the outside is on the upcoming students that, like the roll-in of students that's coming in more so than the actual time you put in? Because I've been going to the W4 for 2 years and I call it like the new era when I first went there. No, seriously. Like even you was a part of that era that's kind of extinct in my opinion. Now we have the Coyote Sandstorm, the Cujo shows, the Tommy Maserati who was kind of leading the last of yours. Do you think that that's kind of why you're considered a veteran more so than
I think that is why I'm considered a veteran, and I'm glad you mentioned that because like I think that's a beautiful thing that the wheel just keeps turning. Like every few months, there's somebody new. There's somebody else who's over. There's somebody else who connects with the crowd. And I think that's just an attest to us going back to Fox being the greatest trainer there is because, like, every time you go, there's somebody new. Every time you go, there's a new storyline. Every time you go, there's something new that you can grasp onto. So I guess... God, you said extinct. That's kind of a strong word. I guess we're extinct, but like you're right.
But do you feel like you need to be the heavyweight champion?
Oh no.
That's why I kind of say
no. If I felt that way, then there would be a problem.
Brock Lesnar.
Don't come for Lesnar. But if I felt that way, I feel like there would be a problem. I like that. You know, the new cohort or whatever you want to call it. They're able to kind of. To carry the ball and to carry the show.
Did you watch WCW? Because this kind of reminds me of... Oh.
Nope.
Okay.
I watch quality wrestling.
Whoa!
I watch quality wrestling.
We're going to have to end this right here, and I'm going to have to put on some New Breed Rising. Is it new? I feel like I'm calling it porno, not New Breed, New Blood. New Blood Rising.
No comment.
Actually. But moving forward with this, I want you to put over to WA4 school. Can you give us a little information on where it's from? We know that Fox is the head trainer, of course, but kind of put over to the school in a sense because you're doing great, in my opinion. We got some more to talk about, but I just want to give some promo to WA4 because, like you said, the roll-in just keeps coming. Like
the head trainer is AR Fox. I mean, I think that kind of sells itself. He's on Lucha Underground. Excuse me. He's
Dante Fox
on Lucha Underground. First Evolve champion. He's like in the trenches. Like everybody nowadays wants a president that like kind of fights with them, and I feel like that is who AR Fox is because when we travel like for the Florida shows or for whatever, like I just remember going 5-6 cars deep down to Ybor City. That was the name, Ybor City, and just like he doesn't travel alone. He wants as many of his students to travel with him and do the most in that they can. So I think that is what makes him such a great trainer, and that's one of the things that you're gonna get at the WWA4 that you might not necessarily get anywhere else. It is $1,300. We do have a payment plan. You can discuss that with him and his wife, Ashley.
What is the $1,300? Because I know if I'm asking, sorry to cut you off, but if I'm asking like $1,300 for a year, what is that $1,300?
It's for a lifetime. and I might get in trouble for saying this because on the contract it's 3 years, but we're family. And it's not like a, hey, you pay your money, okay, after 3 years, goodbye. Now, we would hope that after 3 years you've gotten enough information and gotten enough experience to where you're not clinging on, or you have to come every single day, and yet you've moved on and you've been signed somewhere, and that's the dream and that's the goal. But if for whatever reason you're not, we're not just gonna kick you out. Like, that's not what we do. We're a family. So the $1,300, like I said, you can do a payment plan. Nice. And it's just so worth it. Obviously we have a gym. We have 2 different rings, nice. One 16 by 16 and one 20 by 20, so you get the experience in both.
What did you mean by the experience? If I'm not mistaken, with my research, one of them is kind of like a WWE style
20 by 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is no joke. So anything cardio related, any type of drills or anything like that, we do in the 20 by 20, simply because it's harder, and that's the WWE ring. Exactly. That's the standard. You want to be prepared.
But not everyone wants to go to the WWE. That's something I learned when I first started journalism.
That's
with the
right.
WWE. Like, I started talking to some of your mutuals. It was like, no, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And it was like a culture shock for me.
And that's so funny because, like, the same people that you were probably talking to were the same people that kind of opened my eyes to it, because as a child, WWE was the be-all, end-all. And for me personally...
I see how you did WCW.
For me personally, WWE is still the be-all, end-all.
Yeah.
But, like, when I started training, this was my first time hearing people saying, no, I want to go to Japan. Or, no, Lucha Underground is my thing. Or, no, I actually want to try my hat in Canadian wrestling and Mexico and Lucha. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Not my thing, but it's a thing. And I was just so, like, taken aback by how many people didn't necessarily have the WWE as, like, the crown jewel. That was different for me. So.
And we're back here on Jeffrey Show Live. We just finished talking about AC Mack and what he feels like is the standard show, which is the WWE. But we're going to go a little bit deeper into African Americans when it comes down to professional wrestling. I don't know if you follow this page called the Black Wrestling Alliance.
I do, yes.
I'm a huge fan of the Black Wrestling Alliance. They're really bringing light, in my opinion, to the African American wrestlers, if anything, and giving them a position. Have you been featured?
I have been featured.
Okay.
I have been featured, and I make it a point to follow everybody else that they feature, because I don't know, I just feel like for whatever reason it's just harder to find. So, like, I found Chris Bay and all these guys in California.
Same.
Control yourself. In California. And so, yeah, I like that they highlight us, and I think it's very, very important.
It's one person.
That runs the whole page?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I got the opportunity to talk to him, and it's one person.
Oh,
I do want to bring attention to that. When you say they, I sometimes make jokingly of they.
Yeah.
But on my end, but similar to myself, is one person. So I'm proud of him.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I'm proud of him. And everything. So, where do you think that you fit in to a company like the WWE that have they really had a heavyweight champion in your opinion? It's kind of a 2-part question, so wherever you want to start.
I don't want to come off as me blaming them. I will say this. I don't think they fully understand the African American culture. And if you don't understand it, I think it's harder to market African American characters. You have some that get popular, but I think it's important to know that we have more to offer than what you see on TV. I think that is extremely important. I think it's probably the biggest reason why I chose to do professional wrestling. I would say that's probably the biggest reason, yeah. Just because I want to make it cool in our culture. Again, like when I was coming up, like during the Attitude Era, it was very, very cool. And then right after that, it just kind of plummeted and people were bullied. And for watching wrestling and liking wrestling, and that always kind of confused me because I see it as this great, beautiful thing, and they didn't, and I didn't get that. So I paid close attention to what Rey Mysterio did for Hispanics in like the mid-2000s. He raised the demographic. Don't quote me on this, but I want to say it was about 40% in the WWE. And that's exactly what I want to do for African Americans in the WWE. I want to raise the demographic. I want to merge pro wrestling and hip hop culture, which in my eyes is a no-brainer because of who Ric Flair is and what his gimmick is. But a lot of people don't make that connection. A lot of people don't get that. So that's what I want to do. So more than being WWE champion or the first African American to do that, more than main eventing WrestleMania, I just want it to be cool and accepted again in my culture. So
nice. I like that. And what steps are you taking to make that come about? Which promotions have you been involved with in terms of getting yourself noticed here?
So I don't want to harp too much on promotions as far as like which ones I'm doing. Yeah. But I will say that every promotion that I do, I try to stay true to myself, true to the culture, and even though different people might not understand it, I still present it and present it consistently. So over time, they'll say, oh, I might not understand it, but I know what it is. Right. And I'll accept it because of X, Y, and Z or whatever the case may be. So I don't want to conform to what they're used to. I want them to get used to what we have to offer. And so that can be accepted into mainstream media, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Recently, if you've been following, I know that you're a bigger fan of Raw than SmackDown. How do you feel about Lashley and Lee?
Raw's the A show. Let's not.
I feel like SmackDown Live. We kind of talked.
Well, SmackDown Live, they have the better roster, but let's not get it twisted. Like when it boils down to it, Raw is the A show.
Let's not give it too much promo. SmackDown Live is the A show.
No. When Mania comes around, when it's time for these storylines to really start taking focus.
What do we be complaining about all the time?
Everything happens on Raw.
What do we be complaining about?
When Mr. McMahon chooses to make an appearance, it's on Raw. Just
Don't
saying.
act like he was headbutted by Kevin Owens last year.
Once on SmackDown in the past decade.
He was there.
Which show is closing out the pay-per-views? That's all I got to say. Top, what's it? The big dog, top dog, whatever. Roman Reigns. I just want you to know what roster he's on, what championship he holds.
Universal champion.
Hey, it's closing the show.
With no finish.
That's when my boy Brock Lesnar came through.
Shouts to Brock Lesnar. In a sense. So, how do you feel about the current African Americans in the WWE? Like Bobby Lashley, Leo Rush, the New Days. Like, how do you feel? And I don't want to be disrespectful to the Revolution, Naomi's, Bianca Belair, Street Profits.
I think that WWE has a lot of talent when it comes to the African Americans. They have so much potential. Like Naomi is probably one of the most athletic people in general in the company. Apollo Crews, who thankfully I was able to see in the WWA 4.
Yes.
So I've seen these guys, and I know what they have. And again, it just goes to not marketing them in the best way.
I agree.
The New Day is one of the biggest acts in the WWE right now.
Period.
And I still think they have the potential to be even bigger. So, yeah, I think we have great talent. I just think we need to use them a little bit better.
I want to close it off on this African American in professional wrestling topics. Of any advice you would give to the independent African American wrestlers Nothing lengthy, but people that's just because in my opinion, there's a lot of talented African American independent wrestlers.
Yeah.
But what happens is they have all this talent in the independent scenes, and they get all this noticeable, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just stops. So, what's some of the things that you probably kind of share unselfishly, like briefly, to just try and get on the same, like your message, since you're not in their locker rooms, because we're all across the world.
I think it might not go anywhere because of people in higher positions telling you to sway the other way. I think it's very, very important that we all stick to what we know and stick to what our culture represents. I'm trying to say this the most politically correct way that I can. I
definitely be a political show. See, the business we signed up for.
I think we as a culture need to realize what we bring to the table. It is different, but that doesn't mean bad. That means unique. And just because somebody else might not understand it doesn't mean that you're not reaching them. So stick to what you're doing. Be true to who you are. And make it to where they do understand. Keep going steadfast. I've seen gimmicks now that me a few years ago I would have been scared to kind of like to touch and to do, and the militant kind of Afrocentric kind of gimmicks, and I'm so glad to see them today. Other cultures might not understand it, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. So just know that it is appreciated, and to stick to your guns, stick to what you're doing. And if anybody asks you to tone it down or to change, I challenge you to find a compromise. I challenge you to present to them the benefits of your gimmick, the benefits of your character, and the benefits of your culture. Just please don't give up. We're all in this together. We're really trying to make this work, and we need to be represented. I think that's extremely important. So, yeah.
Nice. We're back here on Jeffrey Show Live with the one and only, the title snatcher here, AC Mack. What current titles are you holding in this present moment?
As of right now, I only have 2.
Okay.
And for me, that's very, 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 very low. I'm the Peach State No Limits champion. Her name is Noelle. And I am the current Anarchy TV champion. Her name is Angela. She's named after the TV legend herself, Angela Bassett. I was just watching Black Panther earlier today, so like, how fitting is that? But
on Netflix?
On Netflix, actually.
Nice. Any upcoming championships that you have the opportunity to win? And names already preset?
Yes. So I have the opportunity with Southern Honor Wrestling. I have a one-on-one match with Jordan Kingsley. And if I defeat him, which I will.
I actually like Jordan Kingsley.
Regardless, I will go on to the main event in the Fatal 5-Way to become the first Southern Honor Heavyweight Champion.
Those matches are so annoying to me.
I
don't like scramble matches. I don't like Fatal. They're so annoying.
For me personally, they're harder. I would rather do the old school one-on-one. Like, that's me. But hey, whatever it takes to win that championship. I don't have a name for her yet, but she is coming home to me.
So how does the name process go? I haven't seen anybody that kind of really asks that. So what is the name? I saw the Angela Bassett correlation.
Yeah.
How does the name, does it just...
Well, for starters, I would like for her to be a female.
Okay.
In the championship. I try to give a shout out to either the name of the championship or the name of the company. With the same letter, same sounding alliteration kind of thing. So
I can see it.
That's where we go. Anarchy, Angela.
Okay.
That type of thing. So
nice.
That's where I go with it. And so Southern Honor, I don't have a name for it yet. She's coming home to the Mack of all trades. I just don't have a name for you yet. Don't worry. Unfortunately, I had a show on the 28th of September that got canceled. So that championship is only being held off indefinitely. You're coming home, but it's held off indefinitely. And Action Wrestling. They have this little cute tournament that I think is just
No, can I be honest? I really think that as much you're the favorite, even though you're a bad guy, I feel like you're genuinely the favorite. But I think that Ike Cross is really going, like with the storylines that's going. Just from an outsider, I'm curious to see how this is gonna go. I feel like the program that you guys are running, I'm curious to see where Ike Cross is gonna stand.
I'm gonna tell you how this is gonna go. I'm gonna have a sit down with Ike Cross. He's gonna get his stuff together. He's gonna stop playing all these games. We're gonna go on the same team. I'm going to enter that little cute tournament that they have for this title. And eventually, I'm going to win it and become the inaugural Action Champion. And the title snatcher will have his way. Like, I don't know. It's just like, you guys, it's like you don't understand, like,
you guys
that all the championships belong to me. Like, I'm just going to lay my head down and let you guys read the top of the hat here.
It reads champion of everything, you all.
The defense rests his case.
Okay. I love it. So, in these matches where you accomplish the title, I do want to talk about the Mack 10. Like, what's the history of the Mack 10 on your end? Because that's how you win a lot of these championships, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The Mack 10, obviously, anybody who's seen the move, it's a variation or a deviation from the pedigree.
Yes.
Triple H is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
I thought that was The Rock.
The Rock is number one.
Okay.
But Triple H is definitely top 5.
Okay.
And when I came in the game and I'm training at the WWE 4, and I knew I didn't have a finishing move at all before I debuted. I didn't know what it was going to be or what it was going to be called, but I knew that I wanted to honor the pedigree. Some kind of way I wanted to do like a deviation or a variation of the pedigree. And one day in training, it was really late. The class had ended, and it's me and Austin Theory, and we're just in the ring, and we're just kind of playing around with some stuff. And Theory was the one that said, "All right, Mac, you're about to debut soon, and with the storyline that we have going, like you're gonna need a finishing move." And I was like, "You're right, but I don't know what I want to do." So we started playing around, and I was like, I know I want it to be something similar to the pedigree. And so we started doing things, and just kind of messing around. And us as a collective unit, we came up with the crossing the arms, and I practiced it on him a few times, and I was like, you know what, this feels right. Nice. And it was actually Cavron Canyon who was walking by and was like, you know what, you should call that the Mack 10.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was his idea for the name.
Wow.
The actual move itself, me and Austin came up with that. And the stylization of it is mine. So, like, when I tell people what the move is, if it's in a text, I always say Mack 10, but I say Mack X because the X is the Roman numeral for 10. Right. And, like, when I'm doing the move, I'm crossing my arms to make an X. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Nice.
So shout out to Triple H.
With all that being said, a potential future boss, maybe that'll impress him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Moving forward, I saw you at the Matter of Pride.
Yes.
What does that mean for you?
Wow. That's one of the answers that I kind of don't. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you specifically. Other than it meant everything to me. I do identify as a openly gay man.
Not bi?
No comment. Openly gay man. And that was the first time that I had ever done anything pride-wise. I've always been so against it because of what it represented, and I felt that it was a bunch of men who were doing more than what they should have done, and just being really, really extra. But I decided to do the show. It was up in Rhode Island, so I got to kill two birds in one stone as far as like my New Year's resolution. But I got to go up there. I love Rhode Island. I love Providence. It treated me so well, and I got to perform in front of what we like to say family. That was the first time I had done anything pride related, and I can't express to you how glad I was that I did that show. That was my first time ever doing a show in front of people like me. So yeah, it was great. I was in a triple threat match with Jamie Senegal, who was in the PWI this year, and Jared Evans. So it was great.
Love it. That's great. That's great. With that being said, are you single?
I am. I am single, and I feel like I'm single because of me working during the day, training during the evenings, and traveling during the weekends. I don't have the funds or the time to be in a relationship or dating or the energy. Let's put that in, because that's important. The energy. So I'm just chasing the dream, man. Like that is the number one goal, and if something comes from that, outside of the dream and the dating, that would be great. But for right now, that's all I can do. Next question.
That's good. Honestly, was the last question. I definitely wanted to get some representation on this show to kick off the Jeffrey Show Live interview series. And it says, any final words for the viewers out there that's watching this interview, to be honest, from AC Mack?
Be genuine and shoot your shot. Don't be wild with it. Like, obviously, sit down, make a realistic plan and a goal for what your shot is. Make a plan and just do what you can to go out there and just go balls deep and just give it your all. I'm a huge advocate for shooting your shot and whatever it may be, your dream, the girl you like, the guy you like, just anything. Just if it's something you want, take a step back, write it out, make a plan, and go for it. No excuses, no questions asked, just go for it. That's my message.
I love it, you guys. I want to thank you again for coming on Jeffrey Show Live.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. I had one hell of a time this evening. And I'm going to catch you guys later on an exciting edition of Jeffrey Show Live.